Aloha, this is John Starmer with the Maui Nui Marine Resource Council, and today I am standing in front of Laie wetland, one of the larger, or really the largest wetland that we have down here in Kihei. It's also our largest mulivai or estuarine system. You may notice that there's not any red muddy water behind me there. There's also not really any red or muddy water in the ocean behind me. And that is because this last rain system that came through and dumped water on Kihei, at least for several days, was a little bit different than the rain events that have really kind of doused us in mud down here in Kula Kai. So if you're interested, stick around. I'm going to explain a little bit about what we saw and how the wetlands and the mulivai function to kind of maintain nice clean water out in the ocean. So over the years, we've gotten used to seeing rains like this, right? A lot of mud in the water, busting through the sand berms that separate the mulivai, the little estuaries, from the ocean. Brown water flowing out into the ocean, and just all of Kihei looking really, really muddy for months and months after a rainstorm. So this year, we didn't see the mud. Things stayed pretty clear out in the ocean. And why is that? So why was it this year? Well, part of the reason was we didn't quite get as much rain. It didn't rain as heavy upcountry. And as a result, the wetlands were able to hold the water that got dumped into them. Here you see Waipuilani, some barren areas that are close to the water table. This is a big coastal wetland, one of the few that are remaining in Kihei. And this is the mulivai at Waipuilani. That water is there because it is at the water table. Here we see the wetland at Kula Kai. It was sort of cleaned out by Public Works earlier in last year. And here it is holding all that water. So all that space is basically a giant ponding basin holding water, which ordinarily with our typical rains would have been red. But it's holding it back. It's keeping it from flowing into the ocean. You can sort of see a bathtub ring there, that brown line of stuff that did wash out and is sort of making its way out, but being stopped by that sand dune in front of the wetland. And you can see that barren area there. That's also part of the wetland. Didn't get filled up by water this time. And, you know, remarkably clear water. You can see sand patches, just no brown anywhere in South Kihei. This was Kula Kai before it was sort of cleaned out and restored to a certain extent, just a straight shot. There it is with a much wider flow area, and here we see it holding a bunch of water from the recent rains. This again, Waipuilani. You can see sort of little patches of wet. Everywhere where the grass isn't doing well is a low-lying area. The grass just doesn't like all the water on its roots. See that little empty wetland pond. This again is before the rains, and here you see after. You can see some of the reflections in the little low-lying pools that have created, and there is that little wetland pool full of water, and all that water is slowly seeping through the sand, getting cleaned on its way out to the ocean. Hey, you're still here. Awesome. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to click that like button, subscribe to our channel, and then you get updates when we post similar content to this. If you'd like to learn more about what the Maui Nui Marine Resource Council does in the broad sense, head on over to mauireefs.org, that's reefs with an S, and check out some of the other projects that we do in our mission to preserve coral reefs, improve fish abundance, and ensure that we have clean water here in Maui Nui. Thanks for watching.